Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review of, I don't want to say the new album from Kiss, but it's the new super deluxe edition of Creatures of the Night by Kiss, so it's my first time listening to that version of it anyway, and holy moly is there a lot of songs on this album. Looks like 103 songs total, and that's a whole heck of a lot of songs to listen through. It's just kind of been playing and haven't had a chance to really pay super close attention to each and every individual one, but it was kind of fun to listen to. A lot of people know the history of this album. It was the first one with Vinnie Vincent on it. Whether Ace played on it at all, I have heard both. He played some, and that he hasn't played at all. He didn't play anything on it, but he's still on the album cover. Obviously Eric Carr is on drums on this one. And my first introduction to Kiss as an album, I guess. I mean, it's kind of funny. Back when I was a kid, my elementary school, mind you, so I was really young. They had this fair thing going on where they, you could win games. You played games and you could win prizes and stuff. And one of the games was throwing a football through a tire that was hanging on a rope. And the local radio station had donated a whole bunch of 45s. And towards the end of everything, the guy running the football through the tire game was pretty much just handing out fistfuls of, it didn't matter if you threw the football and it hit the tire, you won. So I was playing that. I didn't know, any of these, I don't know, for these bands or anything on these 45s, but I just knew I wanted as many of those as I could get. So I kept getting back in line. I went home with arms full of these 45s, and one of them was Shouted Out Loud with Sweet Pain as the B-side of it. And I remember just loving that. That was one of the ones I really loved. I used to set up these paper bags like in the living room, and I'd come run through it, pretend I was playing guitar, and smash through it like I was smashing through some wall. And I'm talking I was a young kid, so that's the effect Kiss had on me. But it wasn't until like years later that I heard Love It Loud on a radio show called The Metal Shop. I almost forgot what it was called. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot heavier than the other Kiss stuff I remember hearing. And yeah, so that was my introduction to them as a band. And I remember getting Lick It Up when it came back out. So I kind of got them into a little bit later with the albums and everything. But it's one of these bands, I've actually seen them in concert several times. I've had the pleasure of standing on stage with Steve Vai standing right next to me watching Kiss play. It was a weird, interesting experience. And that same night, I had Bruce Kulick standing right next to me as I was watching Whitesnake play. So that was a cool experience I got. Thank you for my band manager at the time for taking me out on the road and getting to see these guys and meet them all. Got to meet Eric Carr. Didn't get to meet any of the other guys in the band, but Eric Carr was like the coolest dude ever. And rest in peace, great guy. And so that's one of those things I'll never forget. And this album here was still one of my favorite Kiss albums. The song Creatures of the Night is one of my favorite Kiss songs. In fact, the last concert I actually went to was Kiss right before the whole shutdown. Unfortunately, I have not gotten out to see any shows. Well, I guess I did just go see one. I take that back. But anyway, the last thing I saw right before the pandemic was Kiss. Me and my son got to go see them. He bought me tickets as a Father's Day present, so I raised my kid right. And they did several of these songs. They did War Machine, Love It Loud, of course, and I think they might have done I Still Love You, but I can't remember. So yeah, it's a really fun album, and listening back to it, it's a remaster too. So I wasn't sure how well I was going to like the remaster, and I have kind of mixed feelings about the remaster. I was really hoping, one little picky thing I have about this album is I always thought the vocals were mixed a little bit low, and I was hoping the remaster might bring them up a little bit. I know it's not a remix, but I was hoping that somehow that would bring it up a little bit, and that didn't happen. In fact, the drums on this and the bass guitar really came to the surface more than anything. It feels a little bit more empty than it used to. I know it was kind of a cluttered mix a little bit originally, so without doing an actual remix, I don't think you're going to be able to fix that, obviously, but I think You can hear the instruments more clearly on this, but I don't think that worked to its benefit, unfortunately. I think the drums and the bass kind of overpower everything else in this remaster. And so I probably will go back to the original of this one. Although all the fun stuff, extra stuff, I really was enjoying. There's all the songs from all the new ones they had in Killers is on this. Some of the songs from the Elder sessions are on here. There's a bunch of live soundboard stuff on here. There's just a ton of stuff. I mean, I can't even get through it all, naming it all, but man, there's a lot of demos, different takes of the songs that were on here, like a lot of different takes of the songs on here. Just tons of stuff. And you get the Blu-ray. There's the Blu-ray of a lot of this stuff. Mixed. I just can't, and all the extra goodies and stuff you get in there. So the price of it wasn't too bad compared to what the price of the Guns N' Roses one was, which was crazy. And it's like less than half the price. If you're a Kiss fan, this was well worth it. The stuff they throw in extra was nice. Wasn't just a bunch of garbage. And the songs, there's so much bonus stuff. I mean, if you're a lover of Kiss, I've never been a super big, deep collector of Kiss, but I've got a deep respect of what they did for showmanship, and all the other bands I think they've helped. They're fun to watch. I've taken my whole family to see them once. I've seen them several times, and just a really fun band. And I know Gene Simmons gets a bad rap for being this egomaniac and stuff, but yeah, well, whatever, he is one, but it works for him, and they're still out there doing it. I mean, it's been the never-ending farewell tour. I'm not sure where they stand on that right at the moment, but after a few albums that didn't do so well for him, it was nice to have this one kind of bring them back to life, because I don't know if they hadn't done this, I would have gotten to enjoy all the stuff that came after that and got to see them so many times. So I don't know, I could just go on and talk about this one, but there's not a whole lot I can say that I probably won't get beaten up over, because if I misspeak one little thing, you guys are sure to fix me, as well you should, but so I don't want to go on saying too much, because I don't know all the ins and outs of this album, and I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there that know a lot more about the recording of this than I do, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about that, and fill us all in on your little tidbits that you guys all know, and your stories and whatever in the comments down below, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and all that fun stuff. And I'm going to move on to the next one, and see you there. Talk to you later. Bye.